Germany believed there was no replacement for cubic capacity, Japan quietly proved that intelligence could outweigh size. In 1988, these two hot hatches went head-to-head and discovered that raw power was not always enough. This is four wheels and fuel. Here we go. Opel Corsa GSI. At first glance, it looked like nothing more than a sensible little hatchback wearing a slightly sportier outfit. But underestimate the Opel Corsa GSI, and there was every chance you would be staring at its rear bumper before the next corner. Across continental Europe, it was sold as the Opel Corsa GSI, while British buyers knew the same car as the Vauxhall Nova GTE. Whatever badge appeared on the bonnet, it represented Opel's idea of the perfect everyday hot hatch. Under the bonnet sat a 1.6-litre fuel-injected inline-4, producing 100 brake horsepower and 135 newton-meters of torque, driving the front wheels. By 1988, the hot hatch market had become a battlefield. Buyers expected small hatchbacks that could cope with everyday commuting without sacrificing driving enjoyment when the road finally opened up. Opel understood that better than most. Opel focused on creating a hot hatch that balanced performance with comfort and everyday usability. The Corsa GSI felt solid from the moment the door closed. The driving position was comfortable, visibility was excellent, and the suspension soaked up rough roads with an ease many rivals simply could not match. Where some lightweight performance hatchbacks darted nervously across broken tarmac, the Opel remained composed and reassuring, encouraging drivers to carry speed with confidence rather than drama. Its styling reflected the same philosophy. The deeper bumpers, discreet rear spoiler, and purposeful alloy wheels hinted at performance, without resorting to outrageous wings or oversized body kits. It was quick enough to attract enthusiasts, but subtle enough not to attract unwanted attention. Unlike many rivals that demanded compromises, the Corsa GSI never felt as though performance came at the expense of everyday usability. It remained practical enough for shopping trips, comfortable enough for longer journeys, and civilized enough to serve as reliable daily transport without constantly reminding its owner of its sporting intentions. Then came the road that every hot hatch secretly waited for. A sequence of fast bends, followed by a long straight, allowed the GSI to demonstrate exactly why it had earned such a loyal following. The fuel-injected engine pulled strongly through the rev range, reaching 0 to 60 miles per hour in 9.2 seconds, before continuing to a top speed of 116 miles per hour. Those were not class-dominating figures, but they were more than enough to make the little Opel feel genuinely rapid in everyday driving. More importantly, it never felt intimidating. The Corsa GSI delivered its performance with a maturity that appealed to drivers who wanted excitement without sacrificing comfort or refinement. It was one of those rare hot hatches that felt equally at home outside an office on Monday morning as it did attacking a favorite country road at the weekend. When new, the Corsa GSI cost around £8,900. If it was sold new today, it would cost roughly £25,000. The Japanese challenger waiting in the wings would eventually prove that lighter could sometimes be faster. But before that happened, Opel had already shown Europe exactly how to build a hot hatch that almost anyone could enjoy. A quick thank you to everyone supporting Four Wheels and Fuel through Buy Me a Coffee. The link is in the description, and you can also scan the QR code on screen. Every contribution helps keep these nostalgic automotive stories alive. Suzuki Swift GTI. The engine was 300cc smaller than the Opel's, yet it produced exactly the same power. If that sounds impossible, welcome to the Suzuki Swift GTI. Suzuki approached performance from a different direction, concentrating on extracting more from a compact engine rather than relying on extra displacement. Suzuki's engineers developed an advanced 1.3-liter double overhead cam 16-valve engine that extracted impressive performance from modest capacity, producing the sort of specific output usually associated with far more exotic machinery. The engine producing 100 brake horsepower and 113 Newton-meters of torque, sending its power to the front wheels. The figures alone suggested the Suzuki might struggle against larger-engined rivals, but the driving experience quickly challenged that assumption. The moment the rev needle swept past the middle of the dial, the Swift's personality completely changed. It eagerly chased the red line with an enthusiasm that caught many drivers off guard, rewarding commitment rather than effortless torque. Every journey rewarded smooth inputs, precise gear changes, and keeping the engine singing near the top of its rev range. That lightweight philosophy extended to every part of the car. The steering felt immediate, the chassis seemed to pivot around the driver, and every corner became an opportunity to carry momentum rather than scrub it away. The Swift changed direction with remarkable precision, making even familiar roads feel fresh again. Its low weight and responsive chassis allowed it to carry speed through bends with remarkable confidence. Every kilogram served a purpose, allowing the lightweight chassis and responsive engine to take center stage. That approach created an unusually connected driving experience, allowing the driver to feel every input, every change of direction, and every improvement in road surface beneath the tires. Its performance reflected that philosophy. Despite giving away 300cc to the Opel, the Swift GTI reached 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 8.6 seconds before continuing to a top speed of 112 miles per hour. Those figures placed it directly alongside far larger engined rivals, proving that intelligent engineering could achieve exactly the same results without relying on displacement alone. Perhaps its greatest achievement, however, was value. Buyers received double overhead camshafts, 16 valves, fuel injection, and handling that rivaled some of the best hot hatches in Europe, all for considerably less money than many established competitors. It became one of those rare performance cars that rewarded skilled drivers every bit as much as deep pockets. The Opel Corsa GSI remained the more substantial, refined, and mature package. On faster roads, it felt calmer and more reassuring. But the Suzuki answered with agility, character, and an engine that begged to be worked hard every single time the road began to twist. The Corsa GSI demonstrated how refinement could make a hot hatch feel complete. The Swift GTI proved that intelligent engineering could achieve the same excitement with far less engine capacity. When it arrived in 1988, buyers could drive one home for around £7,300. Adjusted to today's market, that works out at roughly £20,500, making its performance even more remarkable for the money. If forgotten American muscle, giant V8s, and automotive excess sound like your sort of thing, take a look at 4 Wheels and Fuel USA after the video. The link is waiting in the description. So which side would you have picked in 1988? Let us know your choice in the comments. This is 4 Wheels and Fuel. See you next time!